she kind of just started showing love, and it kind of just turned into something.
What was that like afterwards? Because I feel like your boys had to just be like, you had to be like top dog in that situation. Like afterwards, and be like,
Well, I mean, it was this kind of the same situation. A lot of people would be like, "Bro, I didn't know who this was," but like now I do, and like, thank you, bro. Like she's so
thank
bad,
you.
this that, like that was like a very reoccurring conversation that I would have with people about the song. Like, bro, she's so hot, I didn't know about her. But yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful for all my friends. They support me in like a lot of ways that when people are when artists are still starting out, it's common for people not to get a lot of love from their friends in the way that they want it. But I was very, very blessed to get love from people that I grew up with and all kinds of people that I just connected with. And yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah, you know, I think that's important too to have people that believe in your goals and like
For sure.
it's important that you do, but it's a lot it's a lot easier when people other people believe in it too. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So is this So I'm pretty late. I just found, you know, I like reached out to you like right away when I forgot her name. Was there already like a pretty big jump last year from like where you were at, or has it kind of been a slow progression, or what has that been like?
Yeah, so last year was the biggest year of my life. Like in pretty much all aspects. Like last year was the best year of my life. I mean, obviously there was bad things that happened, but in the the major picture of everything, I progressed and improved in almost every way. And obviously with Vicky Palacio, that changed a lot. And the Favi thing got me a lot of connections. That's how I got connected with my publicist in the first place, was through the Favi thing. And a lot of the following I got was from that. And then that kept up my drive throughout the year. And then I did the Leroy thing, and I had a performance in Detroit. I had a showcase that I won. I had a show in Flint. There's this thing called Back to the Bricks, and it's like a car show. And I've been going to it since like I was in like first grade, and I used to like sell promo cards there for like football and stuff like that. And then I got to perform there, so that was like crazy for me. And yeah, but we're still like I said, this year is progression over everything, because that's kind of what it is. I'm okay with going up the staircase by every step. If I take a couple big leaps, okay, that's how it's gonna happen. But I'm okay with going step by step, and that's kind of just everything that I'm about, is just pushing for yourself and progressing every day.
Yeah, no, I true that. Um, you mentioned your publicist. What like because I know a lot of people that are kind of working on building themselves up don't have a publicist. And what made you realize? I think it's something that's been obviously it's led to a lot of connections for you. So what kind of like got you the idea that that's something you should do, and like what's kind of been
Mhm.
the benefits since, I guess.
So I mean, I'm a firm believer in just connections and staying like true to yourself over just paying people for things, because a lot of people, you can pay for anything and it can get done because they're being paid to do it. But not a lot of times you can make a connection with someone that, like you said, believes in you and really wants to see you succeed with them, and vice versa. And so with that being said, I think that when you take into account of actually getting somebody to represent you, and a publicist, and even like a manager right now, I don't have like an official manager, but even in that position of anything, it's just like I believe in like connecting and having a real connection, and knowing that they believe in you over everything. So that's kind of how it started from me. My publicist Damon reached out to me, and we had a conversation, and everything just made sense. But in terms of other artists coming up, it's definitely something that's not a bad idea. I think everyone needs a publicist? No. Like, you can still get motion on your own, but if you're in the position where, for example, someone reaches out to you, or you're in an area where there's a lot of publicists and like people around you, and it would be very beneficial, and yeah, definitely I think it's something you should look into.
Yeah, I mean, I think it obviously whatever you're doing is working well because, like I said, I hadn't heard of you before, and I randomly saw an ad for that song coming out, and it wasn't quite out yet. But then I mean, I pre-saved it and was like ready for it to come out because I was like, this is gonna be good. And so like whatever you did for advertising, like obviously worked. I got out to someone who hadn't heard. I mean, I'm sure it worked for a lot of people. So you're doing something
Yeah,
right.
thank you. I'm not sure like exactly what TikTok you saw, but yeah, I believe in that song a lot. I mean, still to this day, I really enjoy that song. It's my most freaking single. I'm still promoting it right now, but uh I was just trying to like really in a way just flood my page with that snippet. I'm sure that you saw and
Yeah.
the Percy Jackson line and the concept of the song because the whole concept of the song was a true story. Like everything about that song really happened, you know.
Yeah, and I think when you write from a place of experience, it always comes out and connects better than
Mhm.
trying to create something that I mean you can I mean there's times where you create something that's artificial and comes out well and relates to people, but when it comes from a real place, there's probably a billion other people that have had that experience and can
Yeah,
connect.
exactly. And it's just that much easier to make because you don't gotta fake it. You
Yeah, you
just
don't gotta pick it.
it's that's what I noticed even over the past like 3 4 years writing music is like the easiest way to write music is to write about you or write about something you've experienced and like just kind of take everything you've learned and put it into words. That's just like the easiest way and the best way to make songs. That's still how I make my songs today.
Yeah. So do you typically kind of go in with like a game plan for like a concept for a song and then kind of just piece it together from there is kind of
It depends. Like, if I get an idea where I'm like, oh, this would be a really cool song concept, and like I could make a cool hook for this. Like, if I get that idea, then I'll probably like write out the hook or maybe just a few bars, and then I'll go into actually recording it and putting everything together. But a lot of the times, it's just like kind of like the feeling and the mood. I don't like to force everything into writing, but I also don't like to only do freestyle punching in stuff because sometimes that can be like a little like you could be sharper if you just took a little bit more time, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how my process is. Like I take a concept, but I also just like to go with the flow.
yeah, I think you can tell too. I think for some reason when you just like you said go with the flow, it comes off more natural and it comes off less forced.
For
Like you
sure.
can I think like years ago it used to be cool like oh how many words can you fit in this like short amount of time and how fast can you go and now it's kind of like it's not what really anybody wants anymore. Everyone wants like something they can kind of pay attention to but like also like gets them through the day type of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no doubt. I think definitely music has changed in like a lot of ways, just for like through everything. Like I think the biggest change that noticed is like the underground sound wave, like that yeet wave that he's kind of started and that all those other artists that kind of blew up after him, like Autumn and like Can and all of them. Like that I think that's like a really cool thing that's happening in music right now. I'm like really invested in it.
Yeah, and there's so many people putting out like this is how I make music and this is how I do this and that like and it's so much more accessible than it used to be that people can take stuff from all over the place and make like something that's truly like their own sound and it's so different from everything else. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's how we end up with like an artist like Breakins, where it's like this is just like groundbreaking stuff that like we wouldn't have got 10 years ago.
Really, yeah. Breakins is and that's somebody that because like obviously he changed he has a very unique sound and stuff but he developed that over time. If you go listen to his first song,
There's
it's
nothing like
not
what it is now.
like
Yeah.
what it is now. Like his sound and all that just came from him being himself and experimenting and trial and error and going through all that. And like I think that's just what music as a whole will like eternally go through, is just like eternally molding and shifting on what's trending and all that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part getting back to what you said about like being yourself when you go in the studio, why that's so important. Because if you're just trying to get on like what's now or what's coming and you're not really like really looking in at like what is your music,
Right.
then you're just gonna get lost in what's new, I feel like. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It like there's a lot of things that I feel like as artists, people like you realize as you progress and take every and continue to get better skill and all that, just stuff like that, realizing like which music relates and how music relates and how people listen to it and like how you listen to it. Like it all everything is like always just like changing and stuff. So
Yeah. So off topic, but I do have a question. So you're from Michigan,
yeah.
but didn't mention Eminem. So is there a reason that you don't like Eminem, or is it just?
No, I like Eminem.
Oh,
I've
okay.
never
I was just
like
curious.
I was never somebody that like really was into Eminem, but
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, like he's someone that my sister would listen to or something like that. That it's a artist like that. I mean, obviously I listened to him too, like Not Afraid was like my shit back in the day. Lighters with Bruno Mars, like
Yeah.
that was my shit. Like I know like the full verse for that. And like I know a lot, obviously I know like a lot of Eminem stuff, but yeah, I respect him. Like Jack Harlow said, we got the Caucasian connection.
Yeah. No,